Hi, this is Ann with Doubting Believer, and we have one more way that you can lighten up for Lent. And this is a way to lighten up the stuff in your house, in your office, in your life. And I'm going to let Reverend John Arnold introduce himself and tell you a little bit about it.
Okay, hey, I am John Arnold, and I'm pastor at First Presbyterian Church in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. I've just been here since July and kind of settling in, love it. I wear a lot of hats, though. I also work at a time management company. I have a blog, thepracticaldisciple.com, and I also am beginning to teach yoga. So I do a lot of different stuff. And the discipline that I'm going to share with you is one that I've been sharing now for over a decade. It changed Lent for me. 11 years ago, I decided I wanted to get rid of clutter and excess in my life. And I did so by filling a bag a day for 40 days, just a good old fashioned grocery sack you might have from Walmart or Kroger or wherever. And every day, 40 days, boom, I got rid of those.
So what made you start this discipline? What caused you to say and to come up with this idea?
One was I really wanted Lent to be meaningful. And I found that most of what people were doing, like, giving up chocolate or something like that, I was like, that to me doesn't necessarily add value to life. And I was struggling with a lot of clutter and excess in my life. So I thought, what in the world could I do as a daily discipline that would get rid of clutter and excess? Because clutter and excess, which I learned really through this process, it's very, very demanding on us. It's stressful to have a cluttered environment. It's stressful to be constantly looking for stuff you can't find. And I learned a lot about myself, a whole lot more than I thought I was going to learn when I started trying to pitch 40 bags of stuff. It was pretty self-revealing.
So what are the pitfalls that people are going to face if they decide to do this?
Okay, well, I've kind of mentored a lot of people through this process, and I found there's kind of a common curve of experience. And right off the bat, people usually come out of the gate with a lot of energy, and it's really easy to get rid of stuff because there's some obvious quick wins, sort of the low-hanging fruit of clutter in your life. And for me, the first thing I remember my first bag was a bag of tennis shoes. I kept saying, I shouldn't get rid of these. I need old shoes for working in the yard. Well, yeah, okay, I work in the yard a few days here and there. I don't need 5 pairs of work shoes. I need one ratty old pair of shoes, So that was my first bag. And it was easy for, 6, 8, 10 bags, no problem. This needs to go, that needs to go. And then you kind of hit the messy middle, very literally and figuratively, where you go to put something in a bag and you're like, I don't know, what if I need this? That was the first big thing that went on.
Yeah. What if I need it? I might need this later.
Yeah. I might need this later. What if I'm going to have to, and I may literally have not touched something for 5 years, 7 years, but what if I'm going to need it? And, that taught me a lot about me because it raised some questions as I went into this inner dialogue. One of the first things that happened for me was I started asking myself, well, okay, how hard would it be for me to put my hands on this if I do need it later? Do I have friends or family who would gladly loan me this? Is it really that expensive? Could I go out and buy it again if I needed to? So I kind of went through that, and it actually made me rethink community a little bit and how my sense of independence, I had to have everything and be completely self-reliant. Well, no, I don't, And so it really challenged that. Gosh, John, do you really have to be like an island of, self-reliance? And theologically, spiritually, there's kind of a wave to that, in that it also made me question, well, what's my sense of God being a God of abundance or a God of scarcity? If I really genuinely need this down the road, am I a person of faith where I trust that somehow God's going to make sure that I have that in my life. He's either going to help me have a connection with someone that has it or provide the means for me to get it. But am I willing to trust that if I authentically need this later, I've got a providential and a loving God who's going to make sure I have it, since it's a very basic need for me. And there's a big difference between need and things that are desirable, you know. It challenged that a little bit too. So you go through a lot of crazy, when you get in that middle, you can go through a lot of crazy self-dialogue when you start wondering why you're clinging to things. A couple other biggies that people will run into that I found are common is just sentimentality. You know, like you have this thing and it was maybe given to you by a relative and they've been gone, you know, like they've been gone 5 years, 10 years, but oh my gosh, I can't let go of that. You know, it was given to me by my aunt, you know, that sort of thing.
And it doesn't match anything in your house. It doesn't go with anything.
No,
you don't use it.
You have no use for it. It literally is just baggage that you're clinging on to. And I had one friend, and it wasn't related to this bag discipline, but he was having to purge his parents' home after his father died, and he had a brilliant idea. Those things that were sentimental, like say piece of furniture that he really didn't need, he took pictures of a lot of that stuff and he made an album of it so that he could hold on to the memory without having to hold on to the stuff. I thought that was really brilliant. I haven't done that one yet, but that's in the back of my head. It's like when I hit that place where it's like, oh, I want the memory. If that's really what I want, I just need a trigger for the memory. I don't have to have the thing. So that's a biggie. And then I think another one is what I call, sunk cost. I don't know if people are familiar with that term, but when you put money out for something, after a while, when it devalues, there's no way of ever getting that back, but yet sometimes we'll cling on to things. We have this idea of, oh my gosh, I spent $200 on my kid's Xbox, but that Xbox is now outdated by 8 years. I can't even buy any like discs to go in it. And yet I can't let go of it because, but it cost me $200. Well, I'm not going to get that $200 back hanging on to it. It's just a sunk cost. We need to recognize it has no value anymore or very little value and be willing to let go of it. It's not going to get more valuable by me, clutching it. Like I'm going to squeeze it into a diamond. Like, maybe if I just hold on to this Xbox enough, it'll become a diamond. So those are some common messy middle things that you run into.
Well, and I have done this challenge in the past more than once, and I know that there are some red flags for people who are A, overachievers, or B, procrastinators.
Yeah.
What is the key? There's a key that you've shared before.
And the key is this: you truly, really only want to do one bag a day, no more or no less. I've mentored a lot of people doing this, and I have yet to find one person who rushes out of the gate and does a bunch of bags, make it to 40 bags. Because inevitably what that does is it creates this space where they don't have to do it for a while, and it gets them off track. The same is true for people who one day they go, you know what, I'm not going to mess with my bag today. It's late. I'll do it tomorrow. And what happens is that becomes kind of a snowball that runs them over. They too always fall off track. The only exception I made when I did one bag a day every day was I knew I was going to be gone for my kids' spring break because it fell in the middle of Lent. Very, very common problem. And it's something you want to think about. I don't care what your discipline is. If you know you're going to like travel, you want to think ahead and have a plan B, if you will, for how am I going to keep this? Or just give yourself permission. It's like, I'm on the road. It's not going to happen. I'll do 36 bags. Just give yourself that grace. If not, what I did, that's the one time where I did work ahead. I knew I was going to be gone 4 or 5 days. So here and there, I picked up a bag or two so that I felt good about that. And I didn't, feel like I blew my Lenten discipline or something. And the other thing is I would really make sure that you have some kind of trigger to make sure you do a bag a day. For me, it was I literally took my sacks, I stacked up 40 bags, and I set them in my closet so that every morning when I got dressed and when I dressed at the end of the day, I saw them staring me in the face. So like they're right there. Hey, John, you need to fill a bag today. Or link it to something you already do. Because honestly, the hardest thing, I don't care what your new spiritual discipline is, the hardest thing that people have is remembering to do it. It's so easy just to not remember to do it. And then you get behind and then you feel guilty and blah, 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 it falls apart. So some kind of trigger, like every time, as soon as I get home from work, I'm going to fill my bag. Or before I allow myself to get on Facebook, I'm going to fill my bag.
That's a good one. Well, I will add, as someone who has done this in the past, I will add there is a bonus, at least for me, for this discipline, is that I saved money. Because if every day you are getting rid of stuff in your house and you are realizing how much stuff you have, when you start to buy something that's not a consumable, you think, is this just something that's going to be in the bag next year? Like, is this? I typically save money when I do this because it makes me so mindful of the amount of stuff I have, and it makes me mindful of not adding to stuff. Adding to that stuff with unnecessary things.
Yeah, it really changes the bar of your relationship with material things in general. I'd find myself going, wait a minute, do I need this? Like you said, is this going to be in a bag next year?
Right.
And so it gives you a mental gut check around everything that you own. I can't say enough about the transformation it made. I will say this, another thing about the power of a discipline of one bag a day, no more, no less. If I had gone into Lent and I'd set as a goal, okay, during Lent, I'm going to go through all our rooms. I'm going to go through my kitchen cabinets, closets in the garage, my cars, my office, my filing cabinets at the office, my filing cabinets at home, literally every drawer in the house. If I had set that as a goal, I'd have probably curled up in a fetal position, just like I may have gone in a big flurry and cleaned like a room one day and then struggled. But I actually literally did all of that when I did one bag a day, every day.
Wow.
Yeah, I could have never set that, I think, as a goal. But by adopting a process that if I just stuck to it would eventually get me there, it was like I had inherent success to it. Like I couldn't go wrong as long as I just kept the process. And there's so many things that's true for us. What's the process that'll get me to my result? And if I can just be disciplined, and discipline, I think that word feels heavy. But it got fun. I had a lot of fun getting rid of stuff. Once I got over I can't let go of this.
It is a nice thing to be able to let go of the need to hold on to things. So just let go of that. And so if you want to do this over Lent, you can check out John's website, practicaldisciple.com. It's a .com. Yes. practicaldisciple.com, and there's information about this. Plus, he has lots of other stuff about disciplines, about ways to pray. He has some great stuff about if you are looking to be a more disciplined Bible reader. He's got great stuff about that. He's kind of the king of discipline, which is kind of the opposite of what I am. So you can check that out. And if you decide to do this, we encourage you to post it on social media. Awesome. Post that you're going to do the challenge, and each day be accountable and say, here's what I got rid of. Or you don't even have to say, if you don't want to say what you got rid of, you can just say, tossed my bag today. Today it was recycled. Today I gifted to a friend. Today I sent it to the Salvation Army or Goodwill or your local retail shop. But make sure some people know that you're doing it so that you can be held accountable. We all need to do that no matter what we're doing for Lent. It's always good to share with other people so that we hold ourselves accountable, and maybe we have some friends who will kindly hold us accountable as well.
Yeah, that helps to have a buddy doing it. If you can find a buddy to do it with you, that'll really help. And if people go by my site, I actually have a Lenten tab. So if they hit on Lent on my navigation, ever since that year, I've done something creative. I've done everything from one year I gave up my car. Woo!
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
You know, one year I made baby blankets for kids and prayed over them. I mean, I've done all kinds. So and some are Bible study related, some are, but that would be the quick, easy way on my site to find other
Bag a day and other things.
Yeah, just hit that Lent tab. I think I have in a pack and there's like 18 disciplines or something crazy.
Wow.
But, you know, take one. Like,
yes, that's what we've been saying with all of these things that we've been offering through Doubting Believer, and there's so many options and there's so many things you can do. We're just trying to encourage everybody to do something, to take on some kind of discipline, and like John said, that has kind of a heavy feeling attached to it, but a lot of them they're fun things that are also disciplines. Discipline does not have to be this heavy thing that weighs you down. It can be something like a bag a day that really ends up setting you free. And so wouldn't it be great to show up on Easter Sunday feeling free of 40 bags of stuff in your life? That would feel great. You would be so ready to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ, feeling light and feeling free and feeling ready to start again. So I want to thank John for his time. He's given more time than he intended, but I appreciate his time. Check out his site and consider giving up a bag a day for Lent. And check out the other videos, and I hope you find something that you can do as you prepare your hearts and your minds and your souls for Easter. All right, thanks.